Hi guys, so today we're going to be doing a walkthrough of a vocal house track in the style of Navos. Here is a quick preview. If you want to download this project, you can download it from my Patreon, the link for that is below. Let's get into the video. Great, so let's start from the top. We've got this master group which has nothing in it, it's just all of the tracks together, and then I've lowered the volume of it so that when it goes through the master here, it's a nice level and isn't too loud with lots of headroom. We will get onto the mastering at the end. We then got this group with all the drums in it. We've got this drum bus which is saturating and also saturating the top end. I've gone over this drum bus 1,000 times, so let's move on. We've got this side chain trigger. This is what we're using as a side chain. Usually I side chain to the kick, but I use a side chain to a side chain trigger. Either way, it's there, and you basically set it to 0 volume and you have a kick in it, so it has a shape, and then also when you side chain to this, it also doesn't need to be, so you can have it here, and although you've cut the kick, it still stays side chaining to this. So yeah, it's a more creative way to side chain really, and you can obviously change the MIDI notes. I think this method's used more for like hip hop and things like that, but yeah, either way it works. First we've got this kick. Not sure where I found this kick. I think it's from a James Hype pack, which he has stolen it from somewhere else because I've seen this kick in a pack somewhere. Yeah, pretty standard kick. Got a nice bump to it, quite bassy. Got a lot of low end. I've got this EQ on it, and this basically comes in before the second drop. Just a kick build, and as you can see, this frequency lifts up. Nice. Don't really do these, but they do sound quite good, and I might start doing more of these. I've then got this snare build. So this is working together with that kick build, just that also adds some classic deep house build. Yeah, snare, kick, nice, simple. We've then got this clap which has a fair bit of reverb on it, as you can see. It's also got this utility making it louder. It sounds like this. If you look at the MIDI, I've added this extra note here. I used to always do this on my tracks. Yep, so adds an extra bit of note which adds a bit more rhythm to the basic clap. So yeah, quite cool. We've sort of gone over the snare build, but essentially it's got this EQ. So it's letting in the high frequencies. We've then got this snare, which is just, it's got no groove on it, no nothing, completely dry as is. Hit within 4 beats, 4 per bar, sorry. Yeah, pretty standard. We've then got the hats. We've got loads of layers for the hats together. Got this first layer. I mean, that's not even doing anything, so we can delete that. We then got this. This is basically the shaker. Taking out some of the top end because it's a bit harsh. But yeah, the hat's fairly simple. On this one, I've got this reverb, which comes up at the end of the first drop. This basically to add some space to the mix, so the listener knows that it's coming to an end. then this also leads it to being reverberated in the breakdown, which also helps give the breakdown some nice space and ambiance. We then got the ride. The drums are quite messy in terms of like the layout, but down here you've got the ride and the crashes separately. Again, it's just a standard ride. I think I searched ride up here and found that in the search bar. This is sidechained to the kick. Really, it should be sidechained to the trigger. Cutting out a lot of the low end. No need really. It's quite a top end frequency styled ride. Anyway, we've then got this snare crash build, which the crash is missing. So let's quickly put that in now. See, this happens. With your crashes, you should really sidechain into the kick. It just helps keep that groove of the drums. Otherwise, I find the crash can be a bit intrusive. We've then got the piano. Sounds like this. Just one layer for the piano. It's not really the main focus of the track. In terms of notes, I've just copied the bass notes, and I have, what we've got? We've got a G, that's also a G, that's also a G. So look, G up 3 octaves, and then into an A sharp, which is just a third up. So basically I'm playing the root note on 3 different octaves, and then I've gone a third up. I have then done the same down here, so I've got a D, an F, so a third, and then a 7th. But with this up here, and same with this, although I've done the third here, this is also the third from here, so although that's the 5th. To be honest, I've sort of just played whatever sounds good. There's not too much reasoning. Like, the reason I've gone for this up here, if you solo this, I'm sorry, I have to delete this. So yeah, look, it just sounds nice with the root note. And then these are just sort of the filler. Yeah, in terms of the processing, just the Korg M1 Piano 8, which is, in my opinion, the best piano preset ever. We've then got the sidechain to the kick, got this Fab Filter 3 EQing out the top. Again, you could just do this with a normal EQ, it doesn't matter. The interesting part, I'd say, would be so I've cut out some of the low end on this, which is out already, and then I've taken out the top end and then brought it in. Not the nicest piano, probably could do with some OTT on it. Very gritty though. Got this reverb, very subtle, not doing a lot, and same with this is actually doing nothing, so I'll delete that. Save you guys some CPU. We then move on to the bass. The bass is a fairly interesting bit. It's made of 2 layers, 3 layers. So we've got this topmusicarts.com, some random pack from them. Just thought it sounded pretty banging. Very snappy. So that little noise hit is coming from that. The main bulk of the sound it's just coming from this being pitched up at +7. It's just a normal saw wave. I mean, yeah, I don't know, it just sounds nice. It's especially mixed with then this organ bass, which is the classic. I've absolutely boosted the fuck out of the top end, and yeah, organ 2, gone over this many a times. It's just an organ 2. Let me go on to the notes. I've kept it within 2 bars and then just repeated it. Yeah, I don't know. There's not really a lot of rhyme or reason to it. I've obviously stayed on the root note, added this note to add a bit of fun. Otherwise, it's just. So, yeah, that's that. Oh, where even was it? There it was. And then, yeah, I know, it just keeps looping around. Pretty basic, really. And then that's all the piano's doing, is following that bass line pattern. Then got this sub bass. Just sitting under. About it. Quite a lot of low end missing. Gives it a lot more punch and power. And then in the last bit, once I've taken the organ out, it felt a bit empty, so I've added this extra layer. So it's still there. What I really like about this track is the respace. It's a really nice one. So what's making it nice, this macro is changing the level. Otherwise really boring. Changing the level, but more importantly, the cutoff. So as it's opening up the filter, which is the same as visually here, that's opening up, the volume is actually going down. And for some reason it just sounds pretty cool. Yeah, really basic. All it is a sawtooth that looks like it's been reversed. Unless I'm bugging. I think I'm just bugging. No, it's just a normal sawtooth with a bit of unison and a bit of detune. Simple, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the notes or what. It sounds nice. Here are the notes. Slightly different to this. All I've done with these, make them extended, and then delete that. And then highlight it, click ×2, and then do it like that, basically. So it's just double length, basically making it more dramatic. So if you were obviously to half this, half it, then it would be the same as the other, which is what I do in the bit before the build here. But yeah, that's pretty much that. We've then got this ARP, or the extras group, which has the pad. To be honest, I think with this, I just got a basic string pad, this one down here, added loads of reverb and then pitched it up an octave, and this is what it sounded like. I put a really long decay on the reverb, so I'm talking like 12 seconds. Took out some of the low end. I mean, yeah, it just sounds nice, little space filler. We've then got the ARP, which is a Big Z style pluck, but changed the wave shape to this basic Moog rather than a sawtooth. Then got this macro, doing all sorts, so affecting the decay, the sustain, the level, the filter cutoff, the hyper. I mean, yeah, all sorts going on. I think I made this originally from a Big Z video, hence why it's called Big Z plug. But yeah, it's quite a good ARP that I use for a lot of things. Very versatile. In terms of the Arpeggiator, I've just used the first chord of the piano is pretty much this. And then all I've done is add this arpeggiator, set to an 8 rate, 1 step, and it just turns that chord into a nice arpeggiator. Taking out some of the low end, got a slight decay on it. Yeah, it's just nice. We then got the strings drone. Just droning on. This is made in Serum. Yeah. So I'm gonna check that. So what's making that like that is quite a lot of detune. So the unison turned up and then detuned quite a lot. If you do it too much, it sounds horrible. But if you do it like that, it sounds like sort of like wasp nest or something. We've then got this string. That's also sidechained to the kick, as is all of this stuff. We've got this string. This is very subtle. I think it's a bit over sidechained. But a lot of the string sounds come from this string pad, which is soft string from the Korg and then the chords of the piano. Quite a nice string pad, to be honest. You can do a lot with the Korg, a lot of good stuff in there. Just have a look through all the browser, there's so much fucking good shit. Yeah, compressed, sidechain compression that is, to the kick. It's got its own reverb already in the plugin, so yeah. In terms of white noise, I really fucking hate white noise. I find it so boring. Sorry, not white noise, just making effects for tracks. So throughout the whole track, the only effects is this white noise, which is either falling or falling. I don't ever think it rises. It's always just falling. I don't think there's any risers. So this is a white noise thing here. I don't know where this is from. This is from some sort of obscure project. It's got these EQs open, closing. Yeah, I do find white noise really boring, but it's very useful. Then got the vocal. This is from Splice. Has a bit of a boost for the high end. It has all these effects, which I go over in another video, which is basically Nectar, which is sort of, it's made by the same company as Ozone. I think the company is called Isotope. And yeah, it's a really good plugin for processing vocals, although a mate of mine would disagree and reckons it's the shittest plugin that they've made. But I beg to differ. I think it's nice, easy to use, and it saves you tweaking loads of different plugins. It's nice and all in one box. Next, we've got this master. This is done on Ozone. Really simple, just a boost at the high end, imager boost, so boosting the width of the top end, and this is just a limiter, making it louder. Right guys, thank you very much for watching. Take care, bye bye.